and welcome to Momentum's side channel. I'm just kidding.
No, but happy birthday Eve, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
How old are you? 80?
17. Why does everybody always go lower? I'm going to go 55.
Oldest joke in the book was not oldest joke in the book, but the funny one was from the Do-Over, what's his name, Happy Gilmore guy, Billy Madison, Adam Sandler. His joke, he's always like tells chicks and that he's like 10 years older than they are, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "I eat a lot of fruit." I stole that joke from him a few times.
His early movies were good. They just got
thing about Munchie Beach for an hour, and I wasn't gonna do it, but that's the deal. I definitely stole it from him.
That's the dill pickle. Yeah,
that's mine. You can't.
When I went to Europe in 2007, one of these guys from the East Coast, and one of them was 25, and they were funny guys. They're fun, and when they get drunk, they're even a lot more fun. But they would say all these quotes from all these popular movies, and they would never say their quotes. They acted like they were all their own bits, you know. And they go around, and everybody believed that they were their bits because they hadn't watched the movies yet. They were just. I was like, guys, I know that you're stealing all that. It's not funny to me when you're like, it's not funny when you're acting like it. If you're just reciting it, yeah, but it's like.
I feel like if you really want to like do that and not steal someone's content, even accidentally, you have to just almost not watch it and just write your own. You know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've been even guilty of that when I've wrote some of my stuff down, and I've been listening to too much Bill Burr, and then I'm like, this sounds just like Bill Burr stuff almost that I'm writing. Absolutely. But it's also like I'm writing down concepts because I have new ideas on top of it. So
that's like I sent you that video clip. I'm like, I got my first song. I'm sitting there going over my head, and then I'm like, have I heard that before? Look it up. ELO 1972. I'm like, mine was worded a little bit different, but it was the same melody through the first part. So I was like, I haven't been listening to that song. It's like, dang it. I'm sure most artists do that. They're like, they think of something that's good. And they're like, oh, Craig, I got to check it on everything. Make sure I'm not stealing something because you just don't know what you're absorbing.
It's definitely easy to come up with new ideas when you're inspired by something that's really good, and you just kind of attach to it. You're not trying to like copy it, but you kind of morph it in a way. So
that's why I like kind of blue jazz because I can, especially no words. So the words will sometimes take you off your own path. And so when I'm just listening to jazz, I can just kind of flow with it, you know? Thanks, Glenn. I appreciate you swinging by and saying hi. Thank you for swinging. I know I've said it before, but thank you for Doyle Dykes. I watch him a lot. I learned a lot from him. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't do the finger picking for guitar. I wouldn't have tried it. So I appreciate that.
We talking reselling today?
No. I mean, if you want to, I don't. I got Tim Reynolds, Dave Matthews. It's a 4 LP set. It's the Live at Luther College.
I see your Pearl Jam record up there.
Yeah, and then Pearl Jam 10.
I'm pointing at it with my mouse like I could just point it out to everybody.
I also got the
screen. I don't think you can show that, bud.
They put it in the.
Wait, is that actually, what is that that's hanging down? Is that his umbilical cord or is it something else?
And then it's funny too, because that guy's like, I don't know, 40 years old now or 30 something years old. It's funny because he actually kind of looks like the guy, you know, you're like, I can see it, you know.
That's funny. You don't think about stuff like that. Like, what do you do for a living? You know, the guy on the Nirvana cover of the baby?
That was me.
That's me.
I don't do anything. I just,
for the record, I was in the pool.
It was cold.
Shut up. You feel like you were shortchanged?
I was a baby. I got this from I got this as a box. Yeah, I thought it was a cool.
I like it. You should just take a picture of it and make it like enhance it and make it black and white. and then print it on a canvas. Then it wouldn't be a hunk of cardboard you cut out.
I haven't decided what I want to do with it yet, but yeah, it's a good idea.
Send it. Take a picture of me, and I'll edit it for you.
I love when you give me good ideas by making fun of me.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do.
What? Another is Phil Kega, picker. Oh yeah, Phil Kega. I'll have to look him up. Appreciate it. I can't wait. I'm gonna go in and schedule my new lessons for mandolin and guitar.
I thought you were talking about scheduling your colonoscopy.
No.
What about guitar?
I'm going to ignore that forever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even believe it's real. I thought it was fake news.
Yeah. You'd only be a weakling if you had a problem with that.
Yeah.
It's exit only.
I just eat a lot of hummus.
How much coffee? Did you just go buy that coffee somewhere else? You didn't make it at home?
Yeah.
What's that cup you got right there?
Yeah, I went out and got to the
world.
Went to the farmer's market. I needed to buy me a wand.
What do you need? What do you need a magic wand? Is that actually a magic wand style?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like in a Harry Potter. I just bought it to.
Okay, you just inspired me. Why do people have magic wands? Why is there a wand? Why can't you just go like Darth Vader style and do that? Why do you need like they used to have the wand?
Ask a wizard.
There
are people that like do that, enchant them. It's like a tool. But I think of it as like a closet gift I can give to one of my nephews. They might think it's cool. It's neat because it has the woods. It has Bacote wood. Or no, wait.
I'm curious. I want to look up the history of the wand.
Bobinga, yeah.
Because think about the new age media. It's always just like they just do that.
Like Darth Vader.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I got Madagascar ebony, which is super rare, and a couple other zebra stripe ones.
What are those?
Bookmarks. He says you can use them for spreaders or stirrers too, but
tongue compressors.
All of them for $20. I just love the wood. I went up there and got that, and that's why I got some flowers too. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you. Sorry, I cut you out for a second. Can you see that?
Yeah, what is that? I mean, I can kind of tell, but I don't want to guess.
This is the representation of the tree of life, and each artist kind of does their own representation. Like each person's on top of each other, helping each other. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this is ebony. This is literally it's endangered, and this is the outside part of it, and the black on the inside it's super rare. Mm-hmm. And I got this one and another one up here. But I got them on eBay.
Those are cool.
Yeah. This one has some of the lighter wood on the outside. And a lot of times the really fancy ones are huge. It'll have the leader on the very top, like the chief. Mm-hmm. So these were kind of made like, these are like the B+ version.
Seems like you've gotten really into collecting like ancient African art lately.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I bought those picks, and did I ever show you those picks? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The air picks from that like tribe or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to show again just because I just took pictures. Because it's hard to explain how big they are. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's way bigger than I thought it was.
And they put it in their hair, and it's like a gift to the bride. And the figure on top, which is the tree of life, just like the other one. The chief's at the top, though. And I love that symbol they carved on there. See that?
Yeah, that's super.
It's ebony too, but it's a little bit lighter at the ebony, but it's still really really black. Ebony's endangered, and that's like something I learned by studying this. Like, so this I paid $30 for on eBay with shipping. I mean, it probably costs what, $50 to ship this from Africa to the United States. So, and I think I paid 25 for this one, and it's ebony. It's endangered. It's not even.
How much do those weigh?
Probably 4 pounds. But I got this one.
How ironic is you and me talking about hair picks?
Hey, never know what's going to happen. It's a show about something.
Sure.
And this one is their symbol for fertility.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. And that's a really cool symbol that's engraved on there. They're perfect.
I wonder where they got the inspiration for the graphic.
I mean, there's literal symbol for their tribe. So I mean, they got it from a long time ago, I guess. They're in Tanzania. It's Makonde tribe. They're known for carving. And then this one is a real black ebony, and this one is carved on both sides. So it's a little different, and it's got some kind of a flower on there. And this is even blacker. It's the real black ebony. That's cool. Like the heart in the middle there.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And I got all these on YouTube on Wade's Ventures. He had a guy named Jason come on that I used to buy from all the time. Sorry. And he just happened to be on there, and he bought a storage unit that was full of all these ancient artifacts. And he sold them 3 for $10 or 3 for $100. I was like, yes, please. And then I went back and I found out more about him. And then, like I told you, I think I went to look to try to find something similar. I can't find pictures of anything like that.
So what are you going to do with them? Are you going to put them in make a shadow box type display case, or are you just going to keep them wrapped up?
So far, as far as I've gotten is shadow box display case. I'm still looking to see what else I can do, but I don't know. That's what I think.
Kind of like wooden box that has like glass on one side, and put like some cool like amber style lights.
And that's what I was thinking too. I wanted to keep it wood. I didn't want to put crappy steel frame around it. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And I texted back. I'm like, hey, if you got any more of those, I'll.
Did he ever respond?
Nope. He probably sold a lot of that stuff because there was another guy in there that was like, hey, I'll email you. And he lived close. I think he was just gonna go there and take it all. And when I found out, it was he was a humanitarian, and he would go to Tanzania and come back, and he just brought it back probably to pay for, maybe they were just gifts, or maybe it was to pay for the travel or whatever. He must not have sold them. He had a whole, and these were some of the smallest things. It was a bunch of furniture and all kinds of things. So anyway,
that reminds me of, do you remember Don Walsworth's wife used to travel, and she'd bring back artifacts from all over the world?
Yeah.
She had wasn't she collecting, like trying to collect something from every country like that?
I believe it.
She had I think that was like her goal, was to bring back a piece of art from like every country. I went through a tour of their house one time, and they had some really cool stuff.
Before or after the fire?
I don't know.
Fire was like 92, 93.
It was after the fire, because it was my dad got me a tour with me and Aaron. We went through it, and I think the girls were there. House is massive.
Yeah, if I remember, it was like a $7 million house back in the day, and in Marceline.
Yeah,
it's like it cost $40 million in Kansas City to build back then. well,
everything costs 10 times what it used to. So
I'm just saying, just if you would have moved that house to Kansas City, it would have cost more. Just even then. So like,
well, and also I don't think I ever realized growing up that we lived in like the cheapest place to live in the whole United States until you start looking around like, oh, I might move somewhere cool, like, by the ocean or by a mountain. And then you look at the prices of everything. It's like 4 times what you're used to. And it doesn't even make sense to you.
Yeah. I'll never forget that day. And then I remember one day too, having the bright idea. I'm like, I'm going to go to the East Coast and I'm going to mow yards. Went out there and I realized like, oh, like land's so expensive. There's no yards.
Mm-hmm.
People don't have yards. They have houses. If they have a house, they pay for the house, not a yard. And so I realized it wasn't like it is here where everybody has a yard and it's a big yard. And, it's just different.
Yeah. It's like here, my brother's yard is super small. It's like most of it's turf. So the guys that show up and mow here, takes them like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Almost weed eat it and be done with it.
Pretty much weed eat, and they go and check a few things, and they do the front super fast. They're out of here.
I would actually weed eat a lot of yards now. Just weed eat the back. It's too much of a pain in the ass, and it actually forms to if you know how to do it, it actually does better than mowing.
My dad's is the same way. I think he pays $20 a week, and they're there for I don't know, not long, 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's going hard to stop mowing because, man, you have a day where you make $400 and you barely work. It's kind of nice to have coming in. Man, what are you going to do today? Man, I love that chair.
Sell it to you. I can't. It won't let me post anything in the chat. That's weird. It says I have to join the chat. I have to connect.
Yeah, they changed something. I don't know. They must not have changed it back.
I've never done that before. I can't even comment because I'm not logged into the YouTube account. App.
You can start up another thing, but you have to make sure you mute it.
Yeah. Today, after this, I think I'm going to go run, and then I'm going to fix myself a nice brunch, and then I'm going to go with the girls. Alex is playing in a live, like some kind of band thing today at some kind of festival that I'm going to go to.
Who's Alex?
Mackenzie's husband.
Oh, awesome.
He's actually really good guitarist and singer, so pretty excited. He's really good.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds like a fun day.
I don't know what it is. It's some kind of, I think it's like a festival deal at like a park. I'll probably think it's like a quaint little park deal, and I'll get there and there'll be like 10,000 people there. Dallas situation.
Texas.
Like, bro, you didn't get here 6 hours early? Yeah, you have to buy tickets.
Brunch lasts 7 hours.
We
just put the hog on.
Yeah. Go to like 4 a.m. Go to bed.
I had some managers from Texas. I always loved them. Man, they were awesome. I don't know if it's how a lot of Texas guys are, but man, they were great.
I don't think so.
Not so much.
No.
Not anymore, at least. Yeah.
I feel like we've hit a lull right now, so I'm going to insert something.
Sure.
This is a random thought from the internet. All dogs are uncircumcised. So.
Yeah, well, that's why they aren't assholes like us. So. We're all still holding back anger.
Welcome to Earth. We're just going to cut off the end of your penis as soon as you get here.
It's going to make it hard for the rest of your life to ever like your parents. But hey, there you go.
The thing you did to me is cut the end of my penis off. You're welcome.
Yeah, but you don't have to clean it no more. What?
Jen Hayes. She just walked in. Interesting. So I got to move. The skylight's going
to brighten you.
Yeah.
I just love the design. It makes you look like you have wings.
Anthony, you can't have the chair and you can't sell it. Okay, so
I would say it's about $100 to ship. I'll throw you 2 bones.
What's up with Jen Hayes? I haven't seen her.
How you doing, Jen? Good to see you. I'm glad I don't have one. I'd rather have that than the other, but hey.
Never mind.
Do you ever do you take Bonnie on the walk? Bonnie and what's the other one's name?
Juniper.
Juniper.
No, I probably won't. They're so aggressively like sniffing for rabbits and stuff. I mean, they're actually the most well-behaved dogs I've ever been around in my life. But when you take them for a walk, they kind of go berserk and they pull so hard constantly that I don't. When my brother goes with me and walks, he will bring them and we'll both take one of them, but I'm not going to take them both by myself. I feel like I'd be so annoyed by the time I got back. Plus, they'd both take a dump like 5 minutes down the road, and I'd be carrying a bag of poop. So
you can turn your head and act like you never saw it.
I did let them sleep in the room with me last night, though. I drug their doggy beds upstairs, and
that's cute.
Yeah,
what a sweetie.
Thank you. I kind of slept in though, and I woke up and they were both gone, and the door was open because I left it cracked so they could get out if they wanted to. And I went downstairs I opened my door to come out, and they were both sleeping in the hallway. Yeah. And one of them had their collar like all messed up, so I assumed they had been like
they try to get out.
They're like, I don't know what they were doing.
Does he not know what showers are?
Yeah. God. I'm like, why are you sleeping in, bro? I only slept like 6 hours.
Yeah, I mean, when I first took Bo and Cora, when I took them running, it was tough. Because one would go one way, one would go the other. It was tough, and you can get them those collars that kind of sink in if they pull too hard, But man, I feel bad doing that. Oh, but now they're pretty good. They know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it? We live 60% in the sense of. We live 50% in the sense of sight, and they live 60% in the sense of smell. So taking them on walks is like heaven.
Yeah, they go crazy.
Especially if you taking my dogs to a new place where it's all new smells. Oh, they freak out.
Yeah, they're like literally almost like. Okay, go lay down. They're both like almost like a cartoon dog. Remember in the back in the day, the cartoon dogs would go and his nose was like, go crazy sniffing. They're like that.
Like bloodhounds.
Yes. Yeah. It's literally cartoon ridiculous how bananas they go to start sniffing everything.
Cora's got a better sense of smell. So Cora will go smell it, and then Bo's like, What you got? What you got? He'll come over and be like, hey, can I get in there? Can I get in there? It's so funny. I guess because he's older. Like, I don't know.
You've got to like check in.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's just hilarious. And then like we'll go on a walk and he'll pee on something, and then we'll come back and he'll be smelling. I'm like, that's yourself. You're smelling yourself. You just peed there. Like, stop. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Troopy, best cartoon dog. Yeah. Bum Crack. How you doing, BCP? Good to see you.
What's Bum Crack's first name? Is it Mike?
Oh no, I don't know.
What's up, Kent?
Classic Kent.
Well, I was just getting ready to insert another internet thought, but that ought to hold us over for a little bit.
Hey, Kent, I was just wondering, can you give me your address? I needed to send you a new present. DMV for life. I go watch the Reseller Information Network. They do lives in the mornings, like Mondays and Tuesdays. I don't remember exactly what days. I think it's Tuesdays. It's pretty good. It's pretty funny, and they actually have good information for resellers. It's probably the only one I've ever seen. So it's kind of fun to go watch every once in a while. If you ever, it's Tim from Over the Years and Leroy Brown, Leroy Blood, and what's his name? Oh, anyway, two other guys on it. It's pretty good. You gotta check it out sometime. I'll send you the link.
Is there a sound that just went by that was really loud on your end?
Not kind of, maybe. Not really.
What's up, Cameron? Gravity Foods.
Gravity. It's Tank's birthday. Yeah, Tank Cernock. He's on there, and he's got such great information. They all sell on multiple platforms. They know it's selling on the platforms. They all do Whatnot. I don't really Whatnot. I might actually do some Whatnot because I have some time to burn, but I don't want to. eBay's still been pretty good, even though freaking yesterday was the first day I've had in 2 years where I didn't sell something on eBay in either of my two booths.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing sell. Well, I think they had something sell like in the middle of the night before. But
quit.
It's
obviously not working anymore.
Yeah.
So
eBay's been so weird, and then I have like a $500 day the next day. I'm like, what?
I did that a couple weeks ago. I had a run and I sold like 5 or 6 items in like just a couple days, and then nothing for a week. But I'm not pushing it super hard. I just started doing the like end and relist stuff this week, and I sold some more stuff this week. So
I've been just ending and relisting, and I've ended and selling similar for. I haven't put anything new up for like a month.
Yeah, you always do sell similar though, right? Because that actually creates a new item number.
Well, I think the way they do it now that it does the same, but I have so many people that follow my store, so it sends them an alert that I re-put stuff up. So my store's so big that some of the stuff they don't know is there, and so I'm just recircling my store.
Stuff up,
huh?
You just said I re-put stuff up?
Yeah, I just relist it, re-put the same thing up, because otherwise, because it sends them a message that it's like they just think it's a new listing. Because
Right.
I've even had people tell me like, "Oh, I wanted to get that before it ended." I'm like, I have everything at, buy it now, but it says it's ending. They don't realize that I'm gonna re-put it up again.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, so selling similar works really good for my store since so many people follow it. I have like, I can't remember. There's a lot of people that since I sell one thing and it's a collectible. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for swinging by, Cameron and Kent.
Does anybody in the chat know the details on that versus sell similar versus relist? Does it create a new like listing number, item number, or does it the same? I think it used to be one did and one didn't. So we've talked.
It used to be. I don't think it's that way. Even if it is, it doesn't really matter because it gets a new promotion. So then either way, it's probably, unless you're not promoting, then maybe. It still comes down to the same thing. If it's a good price, it's a good product, it's going to sell.
Kent says they now do the same function.
Yeah. And then when you push relist, it kind of keeps them categorized where it won't let you list that same one again.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it's hard to explain. When you're selling similar, it'll leave it there, and you might sell it again if you change the title or anything. So you might have the same listing up a couple times if you're not careful.
I didn't think it would let you do that. I thought
if it's the same title, but if you change the title at all, you put the same thing up, and it might be the same SKU number, and so that's why relisting sometimes could save you. Anyway, because when you say relist, it'll say it's been relisted on eBay.
I'll have to mess with that.
But I mean, how many things you have listed?
20 some, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Another thing I've learned too is like, I think you got to let it set in for a little bit and let the promotion work.
Well, I'm not unlisting them that fast. Like I probably unlist and relist once a week per item, or every 2 weeks.
I do once a month. I just go for the stuff that's ending today. I let it be in there for at least a month. But maybe someone in the chat tell me different. Maybe that's just what I do. So maybe someone has a better option. I don't know.
You're probably wrong, but
I guess that's for sure. It probably depends on what you're selling, and that's why I like, I didn't tell you, I've kind of reset my pricing structure to make it more easy for everybody to understand too.
How so?
If it's VG, for a long time I was like making it if it's really rare, if it's song I like more, I'll make it more expensive. Now it's just like if it's VG, it's $7, $7.81, and if it's VG Plus, it's $9.81. You know, I kind of have it just set in a certain place, and then if it's a picture sleeve, then it's $11.81. If it's rare, it's $13.81. I just kind of have like my set thing, and it's like working better for some reason because I think it makes more sense to the person that's going in there and they know they see $7.81, they already know now it's VG. You know what I mean?
You've done your pricing more based on the quality of the record versus like the band or like what the music is?
Except if it's like Beastie Boys, Brass Monkey. Popular. Yeah, Beastie Boys, Brass Monkey. I've found 3 of them in my life. So yeah, they're 34. So that's kind of how I play. I just played a little different. I think it's working better. Makes more sense to the people that are I don't know.
I like it.
And I'm going to start putting up some lots and things. That's why I might do some Whatnot. I just have so much inventory. I just have so much because you get good at buying. And pretty much all my inventory is paid for, you know. It's interesting too, like looking back, because I list pretty normally, I could tell the listings where it really went, where my eBay went jacked up. It's the very end of May, beginning of June is when stuff changed. And then mid-June, my eBay, the new stuff I was putting up wasn't selling through June and July.
You think
I don't know what happened?
The summer or the cycle of the year, like people getting out of school and just being distracted with.
No, I mean, I was all my new stuff I was putting up wasn't selling. And so usually I was still selling, but it was like old stuff. Like anything new I was putting up wasn't selling. I don't know. Still to this day, I don't really know why that was. So it just makes me wonder what was wrong. Everybody was having problems at the same time. And it was when they changed everything to the GSP to eBay, did it their own. And then when they changed that around, it messed something up. And I don't know. And also too, when they trying to get everybody to do that. The one thing, I love eBay, but the one thing that really drives me nuts, and I don't know if it's because that, you know, the algorithm knows that I sell on eBay, but I get advertised eBay stuff all the time. You know what they advertise to me?
Zombie rats.
I wish. They advertise to me the like pay to play per click advertising. So I'm paying them to advertise something I don't want. Like what?
Yeah.
Like you're finally advertising, and you're not advertising to get customers in. You're advertising to get me to do what you want me to do. It pisses me off so bad. And I get it all the time on my MLB app and another app I have. It comes up, and it's one of the only commercials I get. I'm like, is it because I'm on eBay? It pisses me off.
The advertising on some of the stuff we have to deal with now is so obnoxiously annoying. Like I've almost just want to give up and pay just so it'll quit, but I don't. Some of the like Google stuff that just constantly pops up and you have to click it every time you open something is so annoying. It's so much more intrusive than any ads used to be back in the day. Because when we were kids, when the commercials came on, that's when you would get up and go to the bathroom and get your drink or get a snack or whatever. And now it's like, it's just constantly in your face. You have to like press buttons to not see it. It's so annoying.
Yeah. One of the best investments I ever did was $8, $9, whatever it is for premium on YouTube. Like, you know, because I thought the best invention ever was DVR, you know, back a decade ago, because you could pause and not have to watch the commercials. But now I never see a commercial. It's pretty awesome for $9 a month. Yes, please.
I need to do that as much YouTube as I listen to. I need to do that. So
as much as I watch, I mean, it's awesome. People pay freaking $5 a day, $7 a day for a Starbucks coffee, but they won't pay for YouTube Premium. Or they'll complain about the eBay store. I'm like, you don't want to pay $25? You get $25 back every 3 months. So you're not even really paying that. It's not even that much. So like, I mean, it's not really $25 because they're overpriced shipping supplies, but still it's something back. You know what I mean? It's not even that much.
Well, bud.
Especially to have the eBay hub store, the storefront or whatever. It's so worth it.
You got a latte there?
Yeah. Extra caramel, extra macchiato, please.
Extra whipped cream.
Try to look all cool. I'm gonna need some extra macchiato. Excuse me? Nothing.
Remember that one video with that one guy, Stevie Emerson, where he's like trying to talk to that chick in the coffee shop. He's got all camo on. He's like, "Well, real."
Yes.
And they're like, they announce the name of his coffee, and it's like has like licorice in it and like extra whipped cream and all that
stuff. And magic sprinkles on top.
And he's like,
and he was talking like he was special forces or something like
stuff. Like he had been hunting wild boar in Alaska.
Yeah,
such a funny video.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I totally agree. Worth every dime, especially if you're on YouTube. If you watch YouTube at all, it's. I mean, if you think about how much that is a day, what is that? 30 cents or something? I don't know. What is that? Anyway, I'm really good at math, obviously.
Yeah.
But the same thing with the eBay store, and people fight it, and it's so dumb. Like, it is funny now after reselling this long, and you hear people's whiny stories, and you're like, man, you're never going to make it in reselling.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Fighting over $1 when people offer you $6, and I'm like, I had it for $8.88. Yeah, but is it worth $8.88? They're going to give you $6. Just take freaking money.
I still think it's funny because, like, back in the day, you had to pay like so much money to list an item, even if it didn't sell. You don't have to do any of that anymore.
Yep, like Etsy, I think some of those sites still do that. You know, people don't realize the nice things eBay gives you.
Yeah,
I mean, you
could charge you for every single thing that happens, like 20%.
Yeah. And the people that love eBay the most usually have done Amazon, and they come back and they're like, especially like what the returns are now. Like,
yeah,
dude, like,
and half the time when you do a return now, you don't even get the item back. You have to credit them the amount.
It's just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like hell. And I think in some ways, I think that's what eBay's trying to do is squeeze out some of the, and I don't blame them in a way. You get as much YouTube as I watch of resellers, and you see like how they're selling on eBay. You're like, can you get them out of there? Because you're making eBay look bad with if they're selling on eBay. I mean, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so in a way, I'm sure they're trying to get rid of some of the small fries that only make people look, you know. Because one person, like all the time, people are like, your store is awesome, you know, and they think of me like I have this, like probably a huge storefront somewhere, and I'm just selling out of it too or something. You know what I mean? Like they talk to me like that.
You have a giant record store in real life?
Yeah, like so I'm not going to say no, but in real life I do, I guess. I mean, how genius is eBay? Like people don't realize like if I had to have like even my own booth is going to cost way more than a subscription store on eBay. Plus, if I was going to have my own storefront, oh my God. I mean, how expensive that would be. I mean, look at that Lindy Glenn.
I was just going to say,
you see what she went through and you're like, makes you want to puke.
Yeah, a lot of overhead and a lot of
overhead. And then you're stuck working because you don't want to pay someone. So you're going to do that work. Right.
Like when you have employees, if you don't offer them benefits, you still have to pay like their Social Security, and you have to do like the
unemployment benefits, all this workman's comp. I mean, people ask me all the time, like, hey, why don't you have some employees? You know, you just hire some guys from, you know, across the border. I'm like, you have no idea. Don't talk to me. You have no idea. What turntable? This Victrola, it's a nice turntable. These speakers were some old crap. I just haven't got them out of here. I'm actually looking for my next new investment of speakers and.
I didn't know you have that. What is that? Or this
is a turntable.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know you had that. I thought you had just like a small one. Does it work?
Oh yeah, I just don't use it. I don't want to. I want to wait till I get, because you don't want to waste the needle. You don't want to waste it. I use my tester for all my other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
what brand is it?
Because it's got the weight and stuff, so it doesn't like press into your record, because some of those shitty ones will press into your record real bad. And if you have a really nice record, you don't want to put them on a really bad turntable.
Wish I still had my grandpa's record player. He had one of those ones that was like the size of a dresser. It was like a huge deal with the speakers built in with lights. Super cool.
I have the tube. The tube one, man, it is so awesome. Hold on just a second. And these are so old. It's got wood. These are so old that these were only in like libraries and schools. I wish I could.
Oh, wow.
But it's got the tubes and it still works. I can actually replace the tubes and it'll work fine. So I'm kind of excited to do that eventually because it still runs, the motor in it and everything. It's fine. And that's from like, I think when I looked it up, it was like mid-30s.
Oh, wow.
And I got that for $20. And I got this the same time as the oil lamp that was on the captain's, I think he said the captain's train where he slept. And there's only one, and this is a fancy one from the 1800s.
That's cool.
Gas. It says $75, but I got it for $20. That and the turntable one day, and it was one of those where I looked it up and I got there real quick. I'm glad I got there quick because there were people rushing in after me. You know.
I had that one lamp that was my grandpa's. It was off of a caboose, and it was built to mount on the interior part of the caboose, and it would shake with the train, but it was like an oil lamp, and it got broke.
Oh man. I knew I needed to send my Dave Matthews records to Kent. He actually understands. Look at this one. I wanted Kill 'Em All, but they sent me Master of Puppets, so just as good. It's such a cool cover too. The strings coming down.
That is cool.
It says "Obey your remaster."
What's it say?
It says "Obey your remaster." These are remastered records.
Right. That's cool.
Kind of play into the and probably one of the best records of all time, in my opinion. Fleetwood Mac Rumors. It's just from beginning to end, it's just so good. Look how hot.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac.
Look how hot.
So many songs.
Look how hot Stevie Nicks is. And Christy McVie is too, but she's not showing herself there.
But she's pretty cute.
But Christy McVie, she's even hotter. But you can't see her there. And she was probably more talented musically, but she didn't have that deep, raspy sound like Stevie Nicks. But
so, did you know they came out with a Stevie Nicks Barbie? And it's like, I guess it's sold out everywhere, and people are trying to buy it off of eBay, and it's like $190.
Sure it is. Sounds about right. Does she have a witch's dress or anything?
I don't remember what it was. Let me look. I saw it recently. Not that I was buying one, but
yeah, this thing is built like, I mean, you can hear it. This was made to last. I wonder how much that cost back in the day.
You see it?
Maybe. I can't. Yeah, that's exactly what I imagined in my head, honestly. What's it say?
It just says Stevie Nicks. It's just written in like a real cool font. There you go.
Yeah. But I've studied Lindsey Buckingham, and honestly, he's so hard to copy. He is so good. He doesn't get any credit.
Lindsey Buckingham.
He's the guitarist, the lead singer. He's the lead singer in the group. The big hair in Fleetwood Mac. he's the guitarist, and he's just, I mean, of all the people I try to play, him and Dave Matthews, man, they're so tough to play because he plays fingerstyle on the guitar, so he doesn't use a pick. Mm-hmm. He said he used a pick one time on a one album because you got to get some flick to it to make it pop,
right?
And that's why you can't. That's why when you think about it, you think about Fleetwood Mac, you don't think about guitar. I don't, because he doesn't stand out because he was using his fingers so it's kind of muted. So he didn't want it to stand out, but it's so good. It's just like background. It's so good. It's so hard to play. And he plays like Dire Straits, Money for Nothing, that guy, same style. So Dire Straits basically copied Lindsey Buckingham. Anyways, it's just so freaking. He's just so good.
I was singing Tears for Fears, Sowing the Seeds of Love last night on the way home. And I was thinking I was like, dude, that is one of the best songs. I just love that song. It's like so.
He belts it.
Yeah.
You know, they're a great story too, because they had a group with two other guys and they toured a lot, and those guys just wanted to keep touring, and I forget their names, Archibald, or whatever their names, the two that stayed. We're like, we want to create, we want to make albums. The other guys were like, we just want to party and we just want to play live. And they just finally broke away. And if they wouldn't have broke away, we wouldn't have Tears for Fears.
Wow. It's crazy.
And everybody wants to rule the world. And that's I think the song too that made them realize that they were like, we're good at this, you know. Because they weren't creating, they were just they were a copy band, you know, like most bands. But
I think one other thing too is I have so many fun memories tied to that, because we used to listen to it all the time back in the day when we'd go out and drive around.
Absolutely.
It's like it's more of just a song. It's like so much encompassing, like everything.
Yep. It's happy stuff.
Yeah.
Even like Sowing the Seeds of Love. I remember that, like, when you first got your system, you didn't realize Tears for Fears had that pretty awesome beginning, that Songs of Love. High Town made us stand. Such a cool little intro. And with your system, it was like super awesome.
Yeah.
The Red Monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good. Like his daughter, this lead singer, we'll sing some of the songs with him. They do some guitar jams together. She's a great singer. That's pretty cool. I think they had a falling out. I think their third album was like their third and Guns N' Roses' third albums, I think, are still two of the highest, the most spent on an album of any albums. Still to this day, because no one will ever do that anymore, because they were so popular and they took so long to do it. When they finally put it out, it was just all terrible, because obviously the bands were probably all fighting. They just couldn't get anything done. And I think Spaghetti Incident, or I think it was the Guns N' Roses one, and then I forget the name. The other one was so bad too for Tears for Fears. It killed both the bands. They never recovered.
So what bands? There were so many bands that had like a regrouping, and a lot of them didn't go well. There's a few that were like awesome, like Temple of the Dog.
Yep. 2016, I think they came back together for a little bit.
No, I mean, wasn't Temple of the Dog like a regrouping of like, wasn't it like Eddie Vedder and like the Soundgarden guys, or who was it that came together for that? Am I right?
Yeah.
But there were
Soundgarden's drummer, the bassist and guitarist from Mother Love Bone, the future guitarist for Pearl Jam, Mike McCready, and then Chris Cornell from Soundgarden, and Eddie Vedder, I don't even think was with anybody yet. He was just singing backup vocals. I think he may have already, I'm not exactly sure how that went, but he wasn't known. And that got Eddie Vedder known too, was that video.
Temple of the Dog was before those? I thought it was after.
They did, yeah. They didn't. It didn't catch popularity, and then they released it later.
Oh, okay. So actually,
I remember right,
it was like before, and all this separate bands spun off of that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Because Mother Love Bone's lead singer, what's his name?
How crazy is it to have Chris Cornell and Eddie Vedder singing together on anything? I mean, that's.
I played it today on the way to. I listened to it today. I listen to it almost every other day at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great song to sing.
I always love Chris Cornell Seasons. That's just that's it.
Yes, that's on my playlist too.
What's up, David M? Welcome in.
Hey, all the way from Ireland, I believe. Maybe it's Northern England.
Thank you for burping at top of the morning to you.
But yeah, it's Mother Love Bone. The lead singer from Mother Love Bone, he's the one that sings. It's on singles. It's the best song on singles, but he sings it, and I think pretty sure he died of a heroin overdose. And what's crazy, he was so good. If you go back and listen to stuff, you can see that he was going to be a star forever. But Candlebox, the lead singer from Candlebox, wrote Far Behind about that guy because they were good buddies. So that guy was so amazing that it spun off all these people because of him. And he was a guy that had like a big, he was just eccentric. He was him. He was just himself, you know.
I feel like Candlebox had like every song had some deep, like dark meaning.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff Ament was the bassist.
This is turning into the music hour.
Well, you know me. I start talking. You started with Tears for Fears.
You have so much background info on all the bands. It's cool.
Remember in high school, that was the big save. If you're having if Miss Foss was giving you a lot of homework, just start talking about the Beatles, and the rest of the hour she would talk about the Beatles, and you wouldn't have to. She wouldn't even assign homework because she'd be such a good mood.
I used to start talking to her about dirt. Actually, remember that? Because she used to collect dirt from all the states. I actually was kind of interested in it, but I knew if I brought it up,
That's interesting.
We would talk until the bell rang. So she used to collect dirt from every state, and sometimes I would talk to her about it.
What did she say? Why did she say she did it?
I don't remember. Because she was like she wasn't a biology teacher. What was she? She was just like an earth science, right?
Yeah.
So I think she was collecting dirt from every state because she was like to look at it or test it or whatever. And I think I'd went on vacation and I brought her back some dirt from somewhere. And just for the record, I know that got us out of homework a couple times. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
But I did genuinely like bring her dirt. I don't remember why.
It's interesting.
7th grade.
It just reminds me of that.
Miss Foster brought you some dirt from Arizona.
It just reminds me of that general that picks up the dirt on the beach.
Yeah, lets it fall through his hands.
Yeah.
So there was another situation that reminds me when I worked for the McDonald's DC. There was a safety guy, and he was really into the Mayan culture. And when he would show up to do a safety audit, all you had to do is talk about Mayan stuff, and he would never actually. He would get so excited. I mean, I would probably do the same thing if somebody actually engaged me on a topic like that I'm super interested in. But he would start talking about it, and he'd be there for like an hour doing a safety audit, and we'd never even talk about anything work related. And then he would just leave. Yep. And other people would be like, "So how did that go? Was your safety audit okay?" And like, didn't really do anything. He just left.
And that goes back to like, if you ask the guy what his passion was, he wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I hope I can find my purpose.
Yeah. He knew a lot about the Crystal Castle in Florida. Is that what it's called?
Coral Castle.
Coral Castle. Yeah. He knew a lot about that too. He'd get super excited.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm. He's got like lawn furniture, like set out, and it's all like these huge bricks cut out of coral. I mean, like, how did you I don't understand? He had a swinging door that worked up until like the 70s. That was rock. That was just, you pressed it and it like just turned for you like a turnstile.
How did he get his funding to do that? Like, where did he get all his money?
I can't remember.
Because that would take a ton of money to do what he did, I would think.
Not the way he said he did it.
Okay, yeah.
I know. That's why it was so mysterious. I'm telling you, you gotta check that one out.
Speaking of that, next random thought from the internet. Money doesn't have to exist. The resources to sustain our lives exist. Without currency, humans suffer for no reason other than greed.
I don't really follow that, but
so like everything we need is here, but we have created a currency system to like deliver it. So then only people with the currency can get the resources.
I can understand that, but it's like it's protecting the people that are giving out the currency.
True.
No one ever thinks about it that way, but
hey, I didn't write it. Okay, the internet did.
I'm just thinking through it. You know what I mean? It's like everybody bastardizes like OxyContin. It's so terrible. Like I agree if they hand it out like candy, but when I had my freaking teeth taken out, I'm sure glad I didn't have to go to Afghanistan and harvest some, heroin. Yeah. I'm glad it was in pill form from Walgreens. So right. You can hate it, but it's kind of handy sometimes. So, but yeah, I mean, I just realized that money is just energy and just respect. If you freaking need to pay someone back, maybe you shouldn't have got it, or I don't know, make better choices. Don't blame I don't know.
Point. Money is just a form of energy.
Energy. And I think it's a contract we all agree to.
A form of energy or a measurement of past and future energy?
Energy given, energy take. I don't know. I think I don't know.
Because some people earn it, some people give it, and some people just have a bunch of it.
Well, some people can create from it. And like that's why like writers and singers, they don't care about money. They know they can just go create something, create money. Like resale, and you have to go find something and be smart about it to find it. And then, imagine if you could just create your freaking product all the time.
Yeah. I like it. Jesus pronounced backwards sounds like sausage.
Yeah. Should we all just have one name like Jesus? Is that why Prince was Prince? Prince.
My name is Jesus of Nazareth.
But everybody
back then they just gave you your last name of like whatever city you lived in, right? Or from.
Anthony of Purdon.
Robin of Locksley. Robin Hood.
What shit was I say? Robin of Locksley.
Since air is fluid, your breath is technically a bodily fluid.
Yeah. That's what we always say. It's like fish don't know what water is. They're just in it.
Speaking of fish, humans are the only creatures who have to pay for food.
Because we're not stupid to be picky enough.
Well, we got to protect the restaurants. You can't just go in and get all the food for free, Anthony.
That's why we eat sugar so crazy, because we used to only find it in freaking beehives, and you gorge on it. Now just people gorge on it every 3 hours.
Okay, so next topic, I really want to hit this because this is good. Most homophobics prefer watching sweaty men play sports than sweaty women.
It's like what you resist is attracts to you, and you don't even know it.
But why are there not way more like sports that are all women? Because I feel like we, as a society, like women can be beauty objects and men like looking at them. So why are there not more sports of just like women? It's always men. But I feel like they could say, well, like men would be better at football or something, but still it'd be super fun to watch chicks play football, I would think.
And so all good points, valid. But, I think you're kind of hitting on something. Girls would rather watch guys play. they don't want to watch girls play. So that's maybe why more guys are watching guys play.
You thinking we should do co-ed football?
I don't want to get in that topic.
Okay, that brings me to my next topic. Ribbed condoms do not taste like ribs. Next topic. I can't say that one.
Are you sure? Nothing.
Let me reread it.
No.
Nah. I've already said too many that were kind of dicey. Burying the dead is one of the sillier traditions we still follow.
Burying the dead is still. So what would be the other option? Just the other options are not much different. I don't.
Yeah, they are. What's it called when you're burned? I can't think of it. Anybody in chat? Help me out. Cremation.
Mm-hmm. But if you
how much space it takes up to be burying people constantly in cemeteries, like there's tons of people dying every day. We're going to get to the point where the cemeteries are like gigantic. And burying people in the ground is a Christian belief originally, right? Why are you shaking your head?
I mean, if you figured out, I remember one day there was a guy who was talking. He's like, if you put 8 billion people and you give them 5 feet of space, it wouldn't fill up Massachusetts. People don't realize how big the earth is. And they like to talk in these things of like, it's so extreme, but I mean, I don't think it's like super necessary, but I don't think it's that big a deal to have graves.
I think we should.
And we're putting nutrients back into the earth. I don't know. Is that worse?
You should just get dropped into the ocean.
And it's not for that person. It's for the family. And maybe it helps them to mourn. So maybe it's more spiritual. So yeah, it's not about like, your reality. But I don't know. You know me, I'm diplomat.
I thought that originally that we were buried in cemeteries because the thought was when Jesus comes back to the earth and we are raised from the dead, we're going to reassume our body. Wasn't that originally?
I'm sure that was an insinuation.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but think back in the day, who was buried? Probably only kings and people. Most people were just thrown in the
dump, burned.
Yeah.
Or if you were a super badass Viking, they'd put you in a boat and shoot a flaming arrow into your chest while you were sailing away and burn the whole boat. That's the way to go right there.
That's what I heard.
Matter of fact, I think I'm going to request that. I want that. And I would like bagpipes to be being played while I'm burning away.
Are you still alive until it hits you? Or?
No. Oh, I would be No, I'd be dead in the boat and it'd be covered in flowers with like.
What if no one comes? It's just you. It's just you by yourself. No one's there to watch.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Somebody's like, "What are you doing?" Well, this dude paid me a ton of money to do his funeral this way, and nobody showed up. I don't know.
I'm not even going to do it.
Was this even legal? Well, he paid me like a lot of money. I've got to shoot this arrow into his chest, and it's on fire.
Are you going to go get him afterwards? I'm going to keep firing and blowing it up. Hopefully.
What is that? There's a Viking show that's like a parody where they're doing that, and the guy's floating away, and the dude pulls back, shoots the arrow.
Keep missing.
And they're all like, and they're kind of staring at him, and then he like does it again, and he misses again, and he just keeps missing.
He has to get on a boat because it's going too far.
They never miss in the Viking show. They never miss.
Yeah,
never. You think, okay, it's like 30 yards away. Like sometimes you're gonna miss. I'm just saying. I feel like they need to have like 10 guys shoot at once to make sure nobody misses.
Kyle's gonna use my bow. I got a Cam. What's his name? Cam
Hanes.
Yeah, Cam Hanes Solo. It's a Matthews. They're nice. They go for about $200 on eBay, $100 shipping or so, and I'm gonna let him use it. And I think I got it for $50 at Goodwill, like 2018. Then I have a crossbow with a scope on it. I'm gonna sell that one in my booth.
What's Kyle gonna use it for?
Hunting? He's gonna hunt deer with it. on his land.
Hmm.
It's super hard. You have to get close. It'd be fun. It'd be hard to do. I don't know if he's done it with deer yet, but
I used to deer hunt the old school way. I used to strangle them. I like to use my hands.
strong hands.
Yeah. I feel like using certain weapons is kind of cheating. So
Yeah. I literally hit a deer. It went over a fence in the air. I chased it down. It ran away. So I'm thinking you choking them is not going to do much.
yeah, they're very vibrant animals.
I couldn't believe. I was so pissed. I'm like, it destroyed my front end, and it didn't even die. Man. You could at least died.
So why do you hate deer so much? Like, you love every other animal. Anytime I ever make a comment about an animal and like hair, you're like, well, it's not its fault that its hair falls on you. And now you mad that a deer ran out in front of you because the deer didn't get killed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I needed the food at least. No, it just ran away. I had a freaking $2,000 payment now.
When was this?
It ran into me. I didn't hit it. It ran into me. Huh?
Was this in high school or was this after?
I was in your first quarter at your house. I left your house going into town. I told you, I just saw a deer on that corner go real slow. I told you that before we left. And I was going 25 mile an hour and I hit one. Because I was actually waiting on you because you took longer for some reason. I was going a little slower.
That's my fault.
And it just ran right into me. I never even saw it.
I hit so many deer out there. So annoying.
It was crazy. I was so pissed. I literally got needle nose pliers and went to chase it down like I was going to kill it or something.
Yeah.
I was that. It makes you realize how stupid you are when you remember what you do. You're like, I really was going to. Yeah. Okay. It survived getting hit, but I'm going to hurt it with needle nose pliers. Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
Country boy. Man, I can't believe how fucking cool these are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the in between, like how they, like if you go on there right now and try to find, you can't find very many of these. I got lucky to even get these. Most of them are flat. It's just just like the combs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you find some, they're like worn, like here, like someone's kind of, I don't know, man. I got lucky on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I got those picks and I started writing more too. Makes you wonder.
You think you've been inspired by an African ghost?
Or maybe the energy's rubbed off on it. Who knows? I think it's cool too because like I said, I was looking them up. I can't find them. I can't. Those picks, those African combs.
Mm-hmm.
They should probably be in a museum somewhere.
It probably will be after you put them on the internet. Now someone's probably going to come.
Yeah, those are ours.
Your door in and take them.
Makonde are chosen people. I know they're awesome. They're ours.
Send a couple agents over to Anthony's house and recover this. You're going to have an Indiana Jones episode in your life.
Yeah. Well, and it was weird too. It's like he had like 9 of them on this table. He said he had 29 of them, and he goes, "I'm going to do them random, so I won't be able to pick, and because some of them are different than others." And two of the 9 I got, and those 2 were the ones I wanted. There was one other one I wanted, but the 2 of the 9 I got those 2. I'm like, no way, you know. And that's why I was just hopeful I get some. I just hope there wasn't bad ones. And it was over exceeded my expectations, so I was pretty excited. So I did not put the link in for Momentum. I forgot to. Can you find the link on your phone?
I can do that. Yeah, do you want to talk about that while I look it up? Anybody else here? Yeah.
Yes, me and Jason actually have another channel, and we will be doing quite a bit more soon, up and coming. It'll get more and more regular the more regular Jason has with his days, but we like to read different books and we like to do book studies on them. And if you're into that kind of thing, we're going to put the link in. It's called Momentum. And yeah, we do this, but we like to. The first book was called The Alchemist, which is a fantastic book if you haven't read it. It's a fictional book, good story, a lot of the same storylines as a lot of books, but a lot of great readers. It's one of their favorite books. So that was a fun one. And our next one is called The American Holocaust, and it's a little dicey, but we'll have all the references to kind of show where everything comes from. And it's a very interesting topic to us. Some people may not. And that's the thing about Momentum. What's going to be neat is there's going to be some books that you'll like and some you won't. And then there will be some that you didn't think you'll ever like and you might get into. So I think that's what's going to be kind of fun about it.
So the American Holocaust book is basically starts with Columbus arriving over here in the Americas, and it goes all the way through, I think, Custer, and how the Europeans impacted the natives here on the Americas. And it's super interesting. And it's kind of changed my whole outlook on life when I read it, because you realize reading that book how much of a matrix everything is, I guess. I think we throw around the word matrix a lot now, like, oh, the matrix this, matrix that, and having to do with money and expectations and society. But I think you realize in reading a book like this how much of that kind of nuance has been going on for hundreds of thousands of years.
The one thing that stands out in that book that it's just like every time I think of that book, it's just the first thing I think of is when one of the journals, I think it's one of the like a nun or somebody that went with them that was from the church, and one of her journals, and she was saying, she goes, they were so open and so giving. We did so many atrocities to them. Most of the atrocities they had no words for. They had never done that to people. Yeah. They had no framework. They had no words in their language for rape and things like they didn't. How are you ready for something you can't even fathom?
Yeah. Well,
that's what stands out in the book. Like, it's so easy to take over something that when they don't feel like they,
Plus, they showed up with like war dogs that would eat people and Clydesdale horses, and they had covered in metal. So they probably were like, these are aliens. They're like,
they're so giving. They're like, you can have it all. You can have it. And they're like, we're going to kill you. You can have everything. You don't have to kill us, but we want to kill you too. Like,
yeah, I will warn anybody if you're interested, or it's kind of an intense.
It's intense, but it's history.
Interesting. So. It's real. Yeah, it's not candy coated. It's not.
Yeah. And it's from many sources too. So
they read. The author has taken a lot of sources from like journals written by soldiers, and it's like my favorite.
From both sides, from every side, and a lot of them line up, and you can get take your own thing from it though. But
Kent says, "Can you all incorporate DVDs into this?"
I'll record them and send them to you. Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be like them on faster speed.
It's going to be like a Ken Burns series. We'll record it and send it to you. I did post the link to the Momentum Book Club channel in the chat. If anybody wants to go click on it and go follow it and get ready, we'll start doing that soon.
Yeah. Reading takes too long. Yeah.
Listen to the audiobook, Kent. Listen to the audiobook while you're
Alchemist.
Forcing.
Alchemist is actually that one's on YouTube. I listened to it and I did it at 1.5 speed.
Yeah, I did it at 2.5, but whatever.
I did it 2.57.
Yeah. I don't remember whatever the fastest setting was. That's kind of how I listened to it. Listen to it in like an hour.
Did you see that clip I sent of Joe Rogan to you?
Yes.
Is that not weird?
Yeah.
What did you think of it? Just tell me.
I thought that he seemed like he seemed like he was on something when he was there is when I thought. He seemed real like jerky and like super unusual. I don't know what to say. He seemed real judgy, and he seemed real like he seemed like a zombie or something. And he looked really skinny. Like
It's funny because I haven't said anything about this to you. I thought all the same things. And his famous thing is he's never done cocaine.
Yeah, but he was like,
and he looked like he was on cocaine.
mm-hmm.
He was so skinny. His teeth were huge. His smile was huge.
His face was like sunk in. Looked weird.
Which, you know, it is what it is. But he, like you said, but he also looked just so confident. He looked so confident, more confident than he does now. You know what I mean? That's what I thought was so strange. He looked so.
For anybody that doesn't know, we're talking about Anthony sent me a clip of Joe Rogan on Conan O'Brien. Probably what, in the 90s? Back when what was that show, Talk Radio?
Yeah. News Radio.
News Radio. I loved the boss from that. The older guy that had the glasses, the heavy guy. He was so funny.
Yes.
He's been like a supporting role in a lot of movies.
A lot of things.
He's super funny.
His voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just, I mean,
wasn't Phil Hartman in that too?
Yes. And a lot of those guys, Phil Hartman, a lot of those guys were all doing all that shit, you know. So I'm not saying that he did it, but it just either way, if he wasn't, he was in that frame of mind.
Who was the girl in News Radio?
I can't remember. But it was very weird because he seemed different. You'd think he had more confidence now than he did back then. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was interesting. It was a great show. Phil Hartman on that show was awesome.
Dave Foley, Phil Hartman, Vicki Lewis,
Dave Foley. Oh my God, that guy's so good.
Oh my God, it's Maura Tierney.
Oh, that really beautiful. That's right.
She's the girl from ER. She was the one from ER that was on ER like the entire time. The nurse that became the like physician's assistant or whatever. Abby, was it Abby?
Redhead. Yeah, that was a great show, and that was one of those too that I think even Rogan said that. Like, I never watched it when it was on, but I saw the reruns and I was like, "Dang, this is a good show." I saw it when it came back through, and he talked about that a lot. How they no one ever watched your show, and they would never get a good time slot. He said some of these terrible shows would get slotted right behind Friends or right before Friends and Seinfeld, but they never got a good time slot. And if they ever did, then they got really good ratings.
Mm-hmm. That is her. That's the same chick. If you look up Maura Tierney, she was on News Radio and ER.
Yep. I think I could place her in my head now.
Yeah, I need to go look up some News Radio clips now.
Yeah, it's good stuff. The way he talked. I mean, the way Phil Hartman does everything is the way he talked was so cool.
Welcome to Alcatraz. My name's Steve, but everybody calls me Vicky. From So I Married an Axe Murderer. He's like the tour guide.
Everybody calls me Vicky.
So I was trying to find, I don't know if I sent it to you the other day, but the scene where Michael Richards was the guy, he's the newspaper. He's like the journalist, and Mike Myers was there trying to inquire about that guy. And he's like,
yes, I'm insensitive. I'm the insensitive guy.
He's smoking, and Mike Myers asked him a question. He's like, look, bud, yeah, I get it. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll stop talking about it. And then he's like, no, seriously, like, who is it? And he's like, look, I get it. I'm being insensitive. I'm sorry. We're moving on. Like, no, but seriously, like, who's the guy? And they end up screaming at each other. It's so funny. But do you remember Richard used to do that all the time? And we would always be like that. Anytime somebody was like, yeah, I just, thought you were going to do this. Like, look, I'm insensitive. Okay. It's my bad.
Yeah. You guys would step in that scene. Like
we would end up like screaming it down the hallways. I'm the insensitive man.
All the days, man. And, and thinking back about our high school, we were so lucky, all of us had like distinct, unique personalities. And then you go to Brookfield and they're like all the same personality. It was like one guy. They're all the same person. It's like,
I would disagree with that. I loved all their personalities.
Yeah. Not surprising.
Such a bunch of good guys.
Bulldogs forever. Go blue.
Bulldogs.
Blue pride. Whatever they said.
I did see a guy last night that totally reminded me of Hoyt. So not current Hoyt, but Hoyt from college.
Yeah.
And I had to laugh. It was funny.
Oh, Hoyt. Nah, that's a character.
I remember when we first went over. We need to wrap this up in a minute. I remember when we first got to college and all the guys from Brookfield were there, and I remember we were going to go do something, and I think somebody, was it Graves or somebody, was like, "Yeah, I invited," and he named off the guys, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Gardner, calm down. It's freaking college now, okay? We don't have to be like rivals with them anymore. We all go to the same school." And I got there, and I've just felt so awkward. Like, I hope nobody sees me with these guys.
Yeah.
Like, from my rival town,
It was weird, and it made you realize how brainwashed you were into like hating someone from another town because they're your rival.
Then we all became really good friends. Like the first time we were drinking together, like, "I'm sorry, I love you."
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I like Gross and Hoyt, and I liked all of them.
It was rated the number one rival in like Time magazine or something. So
yeah,
there was a little bit of brainwashing to get over.
Yeah, I mean, I still hate him, but
yeah,
I haven't thrown a hedge ball at anybody in a while. But
use rocks
every year, every time of the year. This time of year, when I see all the big hedge balls falling around here, I always think about Pasick having a big black eye. Yes, some Brookfielder hit me. They had to explain it.
Ball.
I didn't get in a fight.
Did he actually get hit with a hedge ball?
Yeah, right in the eye. He was guarding the bell, and one of the Brookfielders threw it and hit him right in the eye. And he had this huge black eye, and everybody kept asking him if he got in a fight, and he kept getting so mad. He's like, "It's fucking hedge ball."
I feel like we're in the point right now where when I'm listening to a podcast and somebody's not explaining something very well, and I get really annoyed. So if you're still in here, our high school had the biggest rival with another town that was like 10 miles away. And it was literally voted in Time magazine one year as like the biggest rivalry in the United States. And it was a football game. Whoever won the game got to put a bell in a trophy case for the year. And we had fake bells out front of the school that were like a representation of the bell. And the schools would like leading up to the bell game. It was almost like it was bigger than homecoming or anything. And they would go egg each other's bell and throw trash at it. And you had to guard the bell. And there was like fights. I remember I did something. I remember one time I was at a football game and I think I was in the 3rd grade or something. And this lady was walking behind the bleachers and I think I spit on her. So did I know she was? She was
You said that so nonchalant. Yeah, they got spit on her.
I was like, 8 or whatever, though. I was pretty fired up, freaking bell game.
Hey, don't wear blue. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I remember there was
Tigers
fighting on the hill that were like elementary. You'd be up there like playing because we'd go up and play like rugby up there and be fighting and.
But I think that's what made us good. That's why
she walked into it. It wasn't like I aimed at her. I was way up, but it just happened to work out that way. She did look at me and say a really bad word. So I almost told the teacher, but
I remember too, like during the middle, like at halftime, you go play football and, when you were like 8 to 12 and you go play against the other rival and the other team, like the kids too. I think that's why we were so good. We were just constantly thinking about football from our schools.
Life, bro.
Yeah. Some people never let go.
Remember that one kid, what was his name? Aaron Robinson. I remember he would always be playing, and he was huge in high school. So he was always hated when he would come up and play rugby. He would like mow everybody down.
You should have seen him in college.
Yeah. Where did he play?
He went to St. Joe. I think he went to school somewhere else, and then he tried to go into St. Joe, but he had gotten real big and strong, and he's still running like 4.7 or whatever it was, super fast.
He was like St. Joe, like as a fullback or something.
I can't remember. I have to ask. But he was huge, and he was so fast already.
I really didn't know that.
Yeah, can you imagine if he would have stayed in Marceline?
What do you mean?
Our senior year, we lost because we lost the bell game because he ran like 200 yards on us.
That's right. He did start out in Marceline, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, he was on my team when we played in elementary or something, or like 5th grade.
He was there until like at least 6th grade. I think maybe it was 7th or 8th.
I remember he came in one time to Applebee's when I worked there, and he was like, he wanted to talk to somebody that worked there because he wanted to fight him. And I was like, no. He's like, come on, just let me talk to him real quick. Or somebody came and got me, and they're like, hey, Jason, some guy's up front, and he wants to talk to one of the cooks. And I was like, no, we're like busy. Like, what? Who is it? And I looked up there, and I was like, oh, God. And I went up there, and he was like, yeah, I just want to talk to somebody. I'm like, dude, we're busy. Like, what do you want? Well, this guy's been, talking to my girlfriend, and I just want to talk to him. And I was like, no. He's like, just let me talk to him outside. I'm like, you want to beat up one of my employees in the middle of like dinner rush? No.
And you want me to do that for you?
Now, let me go.
What am I getting out of this? A beaten up employee? What am I? This isn't the OK Corral from Brooklyn.
And I go to the back and I'm like, dude, what have you been doing? And he's like, what? I'm like, this girl, her boyfriend is like gigantic, and you've been like flirting with her and like trying to ask her out over and over again. Yeah.
What did he say?
He was like, well, he was kind of made like a smart aleck remark. And then I was like, he's here wanting to kill you right now. And I just protected you from him. So
you might run after work or start parking at Golden Corral.
Yeah. You might have some of the other guys walk you out. So
yeah, I remember, it reminds me of, we used to have to park at Best Buy at Cheddar's. And so you'd have to walk across like a pretty busy place. Girls shouldn't have had to do that. I still thought that was kind of rude, but mainly because at night, they're leaving at 11 o'clock at night, walking across like a highway, going into a dark parking lot that's someone else's parking lot. Mm-hmm. And one of my friends, she was really pretty, and she had someone approaching her, and she goes, this guy, she goes, I've been approached by a lot of guys, but this guy, there's something wrong with this guy. And I knew. She goes, I knew I had to do something different. She goes, and because they're leaving with $100 to $150 in cash back in 2005, and she goes, I just started running at him, going and he just ran away. And she goes, that's the only thing I could think to do. Otherwise, I knew I was screwed. And I'm like, that makes sense, honestly.
Yes, it worked.
They're gonna think, if you're crazier than they are, they're gonna go, oh my God, can they be crazier than me? I'm running from that person.
I had a guy come up to me once at the mall and ask for a quart of oil. I was walking out with my family. I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah. He kept getting closer, and I just was like, get back. He was like, and I was like, he goes, why are you being all aggressive? And I go, dude, you're coming up to me asking me for oil when I'm walking out with my family from the mall. And you think I got a quart of oil in my pocket? It's like, that isn't even a good segue to approach me. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it's funny. It reminds me, I read it apart from my journal the other day from like 4 years ago. And there was one night, it was a storm, and I swore I saw my doorknob slowly turn, go like that. I'm like, nah, and I got up and looked outside. There was someone there. I'm like, what the fuck? So I opened the door. I'm like, can I help you? And she goes, oh, is Eva here? Or I can't remember the name. I have to look it up. And I'm like, no. She's like, oh, she used to live here. And she had this kind of weird googly eye. I don't know if she was tripping or she was speeding, one of the two, probably both, or alcohol. I don't know. Huh?
So yeah. Now?
Yeah. And then she was like thinking that I was lying to her. Janelle's not there. And she's like getting aggressive. I'm like, you need to move on. I don't know what you're doing here. She goes, I just got out of jail, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Just go away. It was such a weird thing. Like when people like try to tell you that your reality is not what it is. Like, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't realize you're crazy? That's weird.
You just reminded me of the Seinfeld episode where Jerry's dad has that attachment he puts on the doorknobs, and he's doing this thing, and it's on Kramer's doorknob, and he's sitting there looking at it. It's like crying. Someone's trying to get in. What I thought was weird though is the doorknob or he's in his bedroom, and the doorknob was at his front door.
Yeah.
Weird. You probably couldn't see your front door from your bedroom.
Right. It's just like every time you look in Kramer's room, it's like the whole room's there, and it wouldn't be like that.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I got to get off here. I got to go. Some of us have things to do today. So,
yeah, I guess I should do something. I guess eBay's open. I'm at a sale in like 30 hours. Kind of strange.
Come on, dude. You need to quit. It's over.
I think so.
Yeah. Just give up. Sounds like
I'm going to start making videos about how eBay's screwing me. Thanks for swinging by.
Hey, swing by our other channel if you're in here and follow, check it out. There are, if you go to the live section, there's actually 4 lives on there that are our first 4 episodes. They're not on the videos; they're under the live section.
But thanks for everybody that just gave us someone to listen to us. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jason.
Later, bro. Have a good day.
In stream now. Zzz.